If you're a fan of a particular game, franchise, or developer, you've probably been tempted by at least one shiny video game special edition at some point. And these pricey bundles are fairly common these days, occasionally costing hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Ranging from bonus digital weapon skins to real sports cars, these premium packages are often sought out by fans and die-hard collectors alike, but developers and publishers don't always strike gold with their bonus merchandise. Fallout 76. Oh, that's the weirdest cough I've ever done. Sometimes, studios convince eager fans to part with their hard-earned money, only to provide a surprise box of strange and confusing knickknacks. Other times, these special goodies are pointless, useless, or downright defective, and occasionally, as our list shows, you get fake body parts and underwear. Okay, so before we go any further, consider that a reminder to exorcise your search history should you decide to look up any of the entries on this list. You have been warned. I am Peter from TripleJump, and here are the 10 weirdest video game collector's editions. Number 10, Dead Island Riptide. Believe it or not, this special edition actually sets the tone for a few more entries on this list, and I'm not talking about the zombie theme. Apparently, the zombie bait edition of Dead Island Riptide is now infamous for its controversial decision to gift the purchaser with a mutilated, bloodied bust of one of the game's titular undead enemies. When pressed about the bizarre statue, Deep Silver's sales and marketing director Paul Nichols stated that they wanted to provide a unique collector's edition that was utterly Dead Island and would make a striking conversation piece. Well, Nichols was right, as the special edition certainly sparked some interesting conversations online. And when I say interesting, I mean outstandingly negative. Multiple reactions claimed the bust was tasteless, unpleasant, and downright awful, leaving many fans and us at TripleJump remarkably uncomfortable. And rightly so. Just imagine having that on your coffee table. Number 9, PANTY Party. Fans of military combat series like Call of Duty or Battlefield will probably be aware of this intense precision battle shooter in which the war-hardened warrior of love is faced with defeating a diverse range of fierce, sentient panties. But if you can't get enough of anime underwear, fret not! Behold the PANTY Party Limited Edition. Indulge yourself by singing along to your official karaoke soundtrack while sporting a tiny pair of pink branded underpants. There's even a numbered collector's certificate so you can flaunt your panty pride on your mantelpiece when grandma comes round. Now, we don't really need to explain why this is weird. I mean, how many other video games with matching underwear have you bought? There are some games that may have benefited from having a clean pair of pants enclosed, such as Alien Isolation, but PANTY Party lacks the same type of atmosphere, so there's no real excuse for this, is there? Perhaps avid collectors with a taste for cohesive interior design can simply display them alongside their bikini bust from Dead Island. It's a similar theme, isn't it? And by that I mean they're both really weird, and you should not have them in your house. What are you doing? Why did you spend your money on this? Number 8, Call of Duty World at War. God, this list has only just begun and I'm already in need of a stiff drink. Thank goodness I have this handy dandy canteen from my Call of Duty World at War Special Edition. Okay, let me just get this thing open. Wait, what does that say? Not intended for drinking? What? So it's a collector's edition with a useless prop? Okay, now I really need a drink. Many fans were left disillusioned after discovering their shiny new hip flask was more or less an expensive paperweight, rather than a usable and cool addition to their beloved merch collection. Of course, it's not only disappointing, it's downright strange to include an item as useless as this. Even if fans were able to prise open the stubborn canteen, it revealed a portal to a hellscape of dried glue and pungent odours, which made the idea of drinking drinking from it quite unpleasant. Some persistent gamers even attempted to clean and sanitize the flask, but the fact still remains that the product itself advised against actual use. With no art book, making of, DVD, or anything of significant interest, this collector's edition falls flat. For an additional $20, we would expect more than a useless trinket and a single special gun for multiplayer matches, so needless to say, this product left a very bad taste in our mouths. But, they did tell us not to drink out of it, so, Number 7. Dead or Alive XTREME 3. As purveyors or connoisseurs, if you will, of the video game medium, we here at TripleJump understand and appreciate the fine art of ergonomic support, especially for those long bouts of hardcore gaming. Comfortable controllers, custom keyboard setups, chairs in which we could happily command a Starship Enterprise, these are all common wares for any S-rank gamer. We're athletes, specializing in both speed and stamina. Our movements need to be calculated, precise and instant. Therefore, we need kit that supports and enhances our gaming needs. Thankfully, Dead or Alive XTREME 3 understands our plight entirely, graciously providing an ample wrist support in their special edition. Rest your tired wrists upon this voluptuous bosom to alleviate any pain from your repetitive strain injury. The angelic cushion will gently cradle your arm, enhancing any and all gaming experiences. Need a cold shower after using this ergonomic wrist support? We got you, fam. The special edition also includes waterproof, wipeable character prints. Fluids of any kind will fail to penetrate these artful portraits, allowing you to appreciate the Dead or Alive franchise anywhere and anytime, even in the shower. We're still talking about water, I promise. Clearly, this edition has been made with both fans of anime and gaming in mind, while staying true to the iconic Dead or Alive style and ethos. Speaking of which, we should probably get around to playing some actual volleyball at some point. It's very easy to get distracted. Number 6. Resident Evil 7. In this post-digital age, I'm sure none of us have a shortage of USB drives lying around. But do you have any in the guise of bloodied appendages? If you are one of the, lucky owners of this collector's edition, you can quite literally give the middle finger to the chances of ever misplacing your USB stick ever again. Or at least I hope so. You won't want to leave this lying around unattended. This strange design resembles a cheap Halloween decoration that has been glued onto a standard memory stick, but it certainly stands out from all the other ones in our desk drawer. However, if this weird item isn't weird enough for you, this broken, smelly baker's mansion will surely satisfy. The replica music box resembling the baker's horrifying abode barely worked at all, according to disappointed fans. Not only that, but many of them also claimed to detect a pungent and foul odour from the piece. I suppose it could be perceived as a multi-sensory artist representation of the sheer decay and destruction brought forth by the E-virus, but I don't think that's exactly what the marketing team had in mind. Alongside the standard steelbook cover and an admittedly cool-looking VHS box, the fragile mansion and creepy USB stick simply did not live up to the $180 price tag. On the plus side, we could maybe combine 10 of these with the Dead Island bust, and keep our sawn-off fingers crossed for more surprise body parts in future zombie video game special editions. Soon we'll have a complete corpse ready to wear the pink panties. Oh god, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever said. Number 5. Catherine. Talking of the Panty Party collector's item, if you've soiled your pink underwear by now while playing Resi 7, don't worry. The unique puzzle platformer that is Catherine has got you covered. Following this list's apparent pattern of zombies, anime, ladies repeat, let's take a look at Catherine's Love Is Over Deluxe Edition, which includes a CD, art book, and t-shirt. Oh, and underpants. This time, the title comes with a pair of boxer shorts, similar to those worn by the game's protagonist, Vincent. It's doubtful that anyone was ever planning an epic Vincent cosplay for Comic-Con, so these boxers seem a bit weird and useless. Are you actually supposed to wear them, hang them up in your merchandise shrine, keep them tucked away under your bed like a filthy dark secret? We aren't quite sure. But before you go using up your best hiding place for this underwear that you should definitely be ashamed to own, you might want to leave it free for the other strange item in this special edition, that is, the pillowcase, featuring a very coy-looking Catherine. It's not quite on the level of a true body pillow, but it's close, clearly evoking the same kind of vibe. Of course, it ties in with the game's bizarre ambiance, plot of infidelity, and the clash between sexual freedom and repression. Still, we couldn't help but feel a little awkward when unboxing this edition of the game on Christmas morning 2011. I can explain, Mum. Number 4, Lord of the Rings, War in the North. While wearing our anime underwear, brandishing a very voluptuous mousepad, with our zombie finger USB stick shoved firmly up our rectum, we may ask ourselves, what could take this mighty gamer cosplay to the next level? There's only one thing that will do the job. A faux leather arrow quiver slung nonchalantly over our shoulders, right? And what's even cooler than sitting in your living room with a stylish quiver? Well, sitting in your living room with a stylish quiver that contains fake arrows and a pouch for stowing your precious game. Joking aside, this edition had the potential to be a pretty awesome piece of collector's merchandise, but it just comes across as a little bit odd. Many fans weren't impressed with this strange item, which is understandable when you compare it to the awesome statues of other collector's editions in the Lord of the Rings series. A closer look at the contents reveals that the arrows within are actually the end rods for a reasonably sized cloth map. And while a string is included to allow you to display this nice item on a wall, removing the map just leaves the empty quiver looking alone and forlorn, hanging in the corner of the room. In order for the leather case to look at least presentable, it needs the arrows, but placing them in the quiver causes you to hide away the coolest part of the collector's edition. We could use the quiver to store other things, I suppose, but doing so makes us feel far less of a warrior of Middle-earth, to be honest. I don't recall Legolas ever actually running around with a back full of curly whirlies. Number 3, Sorcery Saga, Curse of the Great Curry God. It's always a bit strange to discover a collector's edition of a PS Vita game, but that's not the only reason this entry has won a place on this list. This roguelike dungeon crawler RPG boasts some shockingly intense action as you brave mysterious environments in order to seek out the ingredients for the renowned legendary curry. Of course, a roguelike is a roguelike, so make one wrong move and it's game over. Fall prey to the horrors of the dungeons and you'll bid farewell to your experience, levels, and items. But no need to say goodbye to your collector's edition merchandise. You can hold on to these precious items forever. You might even be buried with them when you finally perish in real life. These treasures include a tiny plastic plate, a spoon fit for a baby or me, and of course, a bib. For a game so harsh in regards to making players restart their progress entirely, it's somewhat ironic to create a special edition seemingly fit only for a baby. So, if devouring curry leaves you as nervous as this game's difficulty does, just put on your trusty bib to avoid any unfortunate stains when your food inevitably falls from the minuscule spoon. Oh, and of course, fans who pre-ordered this game also received a bikini download code, because this list, I guess. Number 2, Fear 3. Wow, my stomach sure is full from eating that tiny portion of curry. Thankfully though, it's not as swollen and seemingly possessed as Alma's from the Fear 3 Collector's Edition. God, she's either ordered a whole 2 for Tuesdays for herself last night like an absolute legend, or she's about 9 months on from a Valentine's night with Satan. This statue is creepy for all the wrong reasons. It seems poorly made for a start, and it simply isn't something you'd want to flaunt when hosting a dinner party. I suppose, like the zombie tits at number 10, it could be viewed as a good conversation starter, especially if that conversation started with, "Oh my god, what the hell is that?" The damn thing even glows in the dark. The belly illuminates strangely in low light, revealing the distorted form of the demonic hellspawn within. Oh, and if you hadn't already noticed, Alma is naked, because staring at a demonically pregnant woman with her clothes on wasn't creepy enough, apparently. And number 1, Enemy Zero. Designed by Kenji Eno and Fumito Ueda, Enemy Zero is a 1996 survival horror adventure for the Sega Saturn. Eno also directed the game and did something a little out of the ordinary for the 20 rabid fans that purchased a special edition. Even though this version cost a whopping $2,000, they sold out immediately. Eno then drove his truck across Japan to personally present the game and literal crates full of merchandise to the eager purchasers. This definitely qualifies as a bit weird, but it's also rather wholesome, as he apparently always wanted to have a more direct and engaged relationship with the players of his games, which is a far cry from the egregious monetization of games nowadays. So what was contained in this massive box of loot? Well, of course you had your standard stickers and artwork, but well, that's where normality ends. Dig deeper into the crate to unearth one of the outfits worn by the companion girls at Warp's 1996 Tokyo Game Show, including full leather ensemble, hat, gloves, earrings, and tights, as well as an embroidered towel and a model of an enemy corpse complete with oozing bodily fluids. There's also a VHS of music clips and a stack of floppy disks, branded envelopes, and paper bags, all bearing the Warp logo, which I'm sure have all aged really well. Anyone want to buy my Enemy Zero Collector's Edition? It cost me $2,000 in 1996. I am so in debt. And that's our list of some of the weirdest video game special editions. But what have we missed out? What are your thoughts on the Baby in a Jar edition for the newly released Death Stranding? As always, let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and if you want to support the things you enjoy, then check out the rewards on our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Peter from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.